and welcome back to another episode of A-Town Rundown. We had a little bit of a break, but we are back, and I guess we're going to go ahead and address things. We're going to jump right into it. Let's talk about the Braves, because as you may know, the Braves are on a little bit of a skid. There's some injuries going on. Ronald Acuna got that soft tissue. There's talks that he might be out until after the All-Star break. Also, we're dealing with Michael Harris having back tightness. He had to leave the game against San Francisco that was rain delayed and got continued today. They ended up losing that. But I will say, even after the loss, the two losses to the White Sox, and even after losing the series to the Mets, who, God, I can't believe that happened. But there is a silver lining that I'm seeing, and that is none other than Drake Baldwin. We can riff on him because right now he's probably the greatest thing going for the Braves, along with Matt Olson, who's still hot. But I will say, you and I talked about this before, and it doesn't matter how much money or how much star caliber a baseball team has. This is going to happen to every team every season. And it's kind of a scenario where, like, would you rather see this happen right now or further down the stretch when the playoffs are right there? Because this type of slump is going to happen to every team every season. So is it really that much to worry about?
I'm going to say no. It's not that much to worry about. And because, yes, you're right. Like, we've been expecting this kind of come back to earth moment for the Braves.
Right.
Like, there's no way they, like, on the pace that they were on, they were going to win 120 games.
No.
We didn't think they're going to win 120 games. Now, I still think they can win 90 to 100 games.
They still do have a 7-game lead over Philadelphia, all things considering.
At the moment.
At the moment.
And thank God that you built this cushion when we started the season.
Because were you not talking about maybe 2 weeks ago about how important this cushion was going to be? Because eventually Philly's going to get hot.
Right.
They made some coaching adjustments. Now everything's looking better. Yeah. And everything's looking better for Philadelphia. Now all of a sudden Philadelphia is a team you got to look out for. So thank goodness we had this cushion, because we're relying on that at the moment.
Yeah, and you're kind of in a position that, like, the Braves were so hot that, like, the Phillies will have to get as hot as the Braves have been to even catch us. And the Braves will have to continue to skid, which I don't think they will. If you look at what happened over the last week, Drake Baldwin went out 4 weeks ago, and that, 14-0 Marlins win against us. If you remember that dreadful day, which we ended up winning that series. But Ronald Acuna came back like the next day, right?
Right. So it was kind of a tit for tat right there.
Yeah, the idea was like, okay, Drake Baldwin goes out, but Ronald Acuna kind of passes him in the hallway and comes back, right? And then Ronald Acuna hits his hot streak. We keep winning. And then Ronald Acuna gets hurt in that White Sox series, the first game, and pretty early in the first game.
Yeah.
But then they're kind of passing themselves in him and Drake Baldwin passing in the hallway again.
Forgive me for asking, but what exactly is a soft tissue injury? Because it doesn't get explained. To the layman. Yeah, to the layman like you and I, soft tissue isn't explained. Like I don't know anatomy well enough to know what qualifies as soft tissue.
Same, and look, I am not a medical doctor. Okay, don't flag me for misinformation, Mark Zuckerberg. But that already just
you just had to say his name.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, exactly. It already got us flagged.
Well, that's the show, guys.
Right. Well, that's the show. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. But no, I think it's a hamstring thing. He got injured running out a ground ball to first base, and Ronald Acuna has gotten a lot of flack for not hustling out like when he hits the ball or he's picking
and then
home
look
runs
what
and
happens
stuff like
when
that.
you get what you asked for.
This is why. And you have to think about Ronald Acuna and his injury history is that it's a lot of knee stuff. It's hamstring stuff that he's been dealing with this year. He's already missed time for the hamstring this year. So I'm fine with him not like hustling out a ground ball. And like the thing is like he's a baller, man. Like he's a serious competitor and he's a locker room changer. Like with his attitude for the game, he wants to win no matter what. But at the same time, it's like, let's be smart about this, man. Let's be smart about this.
And that leads me to
a ground ball. Like maybe don't hustle it out. Like, I know we're down 1-0 or we're down 2-1. And that can make a difference. But for him specifically, he is such an X factor for your team just
Mm-hmm.
being on the field. And I wish that baseball had a metric like NBA basketball has, where it's like they have the plus minus. So
Mm-hmm.
like on the court, Jalen Johnson is, plus minus 21. He's plus 21 versus like when he's off the court. Like you can see those numbers. MLB doesn't exactly have that. They have like wins
Mm-hmm.
above replacement,
Right.
but
Yeah.
still it's like it's a little vague of what it is. But I feel like when Ronald Acuna is in the lineup, the team is plus a lot,
Well,
right?
that does
And
get
that
me to
has
the
to be a
question.
factor in the way that, like, if he gets injured and he's out, like this team changes a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say is like, do you think it gets to a point where not this year, not even next year, but like eventually in his career, do you see something happening where because of the injuries, because of especially the knee and leg injuries that he has being out there in right field and hustling like that, do you ever see a point where Ronald Acuna becomes your DH and you put a utility guy or another right fielder out there
Yeah, in 10 years.
in 10 years, you think?
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
how many more injuries does he have to sustain to his legs and his running power before it's just like, all right, like something's got to give. We gotta do some adjustments right here.
If he gets to that point, then, like, the contract money changes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coming up on one
But
in
then do you keep him in
2028.
right field at that point? Because right field, he's got a lot of ground to cover, and it seems like he keeps getting injured because he's covering all that ground.
Yeah, but he's also the reason he's so valuable in right field is
I'm
his
not
arm.
arguing. I'm not arguing how valuable he is. Ronald Acuna
No,
is
I
one
know.
of the best. He's one of the best Braves of all time, hands down. And that if anybody wants to argue that, you're stupid. But like I'm just saying, it gets to a point where like your body can only put up with so much.
Yeah, but he has the arm talent. He's what they call a 5-tool player. I'm telling you, when he catches, there's one out and he catches a fly ball and someone wants to run for third, Ronald can catch him because of how powerful his arm is.
Well, that argues the
He's not
point
really
if his
having
arms.
arm injuries. He's
But if
having
his
leg
arm's so
injuries.
powerful, why does he need to hustle to the ball like that to the point where he's pulling soft tissue?
He didn't pull soft tissue chasing a ball. He was chasing down first base. Like he was running.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
He was trying to beat a ground ball.
Yeah.
Which in baseball, like it's almost, it's a machine. It's systematic. If you hit it down on the ground, 98% of the time you're out. But he's trying to beat that out. And I think that he probably should just, hey, it's a ground ball. I'm not going to hustle it out like I did when I was 21.
Well, it
You know
also
what I mean?
it also like there's an argument too that he's not taking the proper rest time that he needs to, because it has been injury after injury and then sideline. Like, would you rather see Ronald take a longer recovery time and come back fully healthy, or just be like, all right, I'm cleared to play, I'm going to go play? Like, is cleared to play good enough to play for you?
That's not a decision on him. I think that's a decision on the organization. And they're saying, like, this is our X factor guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we need him back as soon as possible. And I do think, like, well, let's take the Drake Baldwin injury, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the lowest tier oblique strain that you can have 4 weeks ago. And they put him on the 10-day IL. And we're like, oh, in 10 days, we should see him back. Well, the Braves had enough cushion where they were like, for our catcher, we're going to take a little bit extra time. And they did.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually ended up being a whole month, basically.
But we don't have that cushion
he
in
was
right
gone.
field.
I don't know. I think we do. Like, you put Eli White out there, or Mauricio Dubon.
Mm-hmm.
If Ha-Seong Kim was actually serviceable at shortstop, you'd be able to use Jorge Mateo and
Did we touch
Mauricio
on
Dubon
that?
a little bit better.
Did we talk about that?
We did last episode a little bit, but
Yeah.
like the question still remains the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nothing's
Should we
really
just
changed on that
Should
front.
we just cut the guy a break? Should we just leave him alone this week?
You mean Ha-Seong Kim?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, guys, Ha-Seong Kim has not shown himself to be serviceable on defense or offense since he's come back, period.
Mm-hmm.
And that still happens today, on what, June
17th? Yeah.
Yeah. So, which is not good. And I still believe in Ha-Seong Kim, the ball player, and let's give him a little more time. but I think that he's on a short leash as far as like how much playing time he's going to get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
My
I don't know if I want to call it like it's not the
Go ahead.
biggest disappointment of the season, but it's definitely one of them.
It's one of them. We have more disappointments to talk about because, like, the Braves having this skid is not just Ronald Acuna got hurt. And now we have Drake Baldwin back. And I do want to say Drake Baldwin came back last night on Monday night or on, actually, yeah, he came back
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday night, Monday night.
No. It was Tuesday night, and then the rain delay happened. So yeah.
Okay. And he hit, they put him at leadoff, and he hit a 473-foot homer. It is the longest home run of the season of any ball player in the MLB.
Mm-hmm.
So Drake Baldwin's feeling good, and it is
Right.
so nice to have that back. And
Right.
his hitting is not just power hitting; it's situational. It's taking walks. Like Drake Baldwin is such a, if Shohei Ohtani wasn't in the league, Drake Baldwin would be a solid MVP candidate right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also
he's
minus
definitely
the 4 weeks that he just missed.
No, he's definitely
You
the
know?
Braves MVP. Like he's definitely
Yeah.
showed up for the Atlanta organization. Like he's been, but you know me, and like the things I was saying about Ronald Acuna, I hope nobody gets it misconstrued. Like I don't want to replace Ronnie out there. I definitely want to see his longevity, but also I call myself an Atlanta antagonist and realist because I've seen things happen I've seen things happen for much too long with every organization in Atlanta, and I always want to try to get ahead of the curve. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to scenario everything out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And my thing with Ronald, like going out, it sucks because it's like this revolving door of either Baldwin or Acuna. Like that's
and
it.
Then Murphy, you got to mention Murphy.
Well, Murphy's going to come back. Murphy's going to come back, and we'll get to the catcher situation specifically here in a second. But this Braves team should be unstoppable if you have Ronald Acuna Jr. being the guy that we know that he can be and hitting the way that you know that he can hit, and Drake Baldwin in the same lineup.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, you'll have the Michael Harrises, you'll have the Austin Rileys, you'll have the Ozzy Albies, you'll have the Matt
That's exactly who I was about to talk about. There's an elephant in the room we haven't discussed, and that's we got to see more from Riley too, because Riley should be a topic of discussion by this time. By this time of the season, we should be singing. We should be singing Austin Riley's praises right now, and we still haven't seen nothing from him this season. You know.
And I brought up last time that like June 13th is like the date that he normally starts showing up. Well, he's a little late.
Yeah, he's a little late.
He's a little
late bloomer this year. And I don't know. You gotta think, dude. Is there just like pressure in his head? Is there something in between the ears that like he's beating himself down for, that he's thinking he can't live up to his own expectations? Because he's getting paid a lot of money, and with how good we've seen Austin Riley be, we
highest
should be
paid Braves player of all time.
We should be at this point in the season. We should have seen enough from Austin Riley to where we're having a full discussion about Austin Riley, and he's not there. You know what I'm saying?
My thing with, and part of like the fact that or part of why I'm not in panic mode about the Braves right now is that we do have guys like Austin Riley. I do think we're going to get a nice streak out of him. I really do.
I really am hopeful
now,
for it.
It's a little late, and
that's what
Austin,
I'm saying.
We're waiting, but I think it's coming. I really think it's coming. He's a good ball player.
And don't get me wrong, we are patiently waiting too, and we're waiting for that day to be like, yep, I knew he had it, but it's like, come on, man, right now would be a really good time, like a really good time.
And I think there's two guys in this lineup. Like we keep talking about, like what we call the stars of this, or what we would think of as the stars of this, and that's Ronald Acuna, Drake Baldwin. And then we're giving Austin Riley some flack or whatever. But Matt Olson, like we can't forget Matt Olson. Like he has been a huge part of this, all the success that we've had so far. And then also Michael Harris. Those two guys have been probably the most consistent hitting wise, like on our team. And I don't think they get looked at it like in the superstar way that everyone else does. Like, I know that Matt Olson's going to live in Freddie Freeman's shadow probably until he retires.
Unfortunately,
we actually like look at the numbers, and we'll be doing this podcast 10 years from now and be like, well, who was actually a better first baseman
Well,
for the
hey,
Braves?
dude, we last time we
When
talked
it's all
about them,
said
we
and done.
were looking at their current season numbers, and honestly, there's not much difference between them currently at the
There's
moment.
really not. There's really not. So Matt Olson deserves a lot of credit. Michael Harris deserves a lot of credit. Stockbridge, Georgia, stand up. Michael Harris, one
Mm-hmm.
of our own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like you also have the Ozzy Albies, and then you have the wild cards of this team that have stepped up. Like Dom
Yeah.
Smith, he's going to keep having his moments. Like he's not a guy that you should have to rely on.
Mm-hmm.
And Mauricio Dubon and Jorge Mateo, like those guys are still here. And then Yastrzemski, you don't want to rely on them to be your guys. So I feel like when you do get everyone back, and even if you only have Drake Baldwin and not Acuna, it's like if you have one or the other, you've got a good chance of winning these ball games.
This is
and
when you
I
really
think we're going to be fine.
realized that you took guys like Charlie Culberson for granted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Because he could play any position: right field, center field, shortstop, third base. He was just there, dude. He was the utility.
Yeah, but
guy.
but we're lucky that we have Mauricio Dubon who can do the same thing, and Jorge
Yeah, you're
Mateo
right. You're right.
who can do the same thing.
And it's not that
they've
I'm
had
not
historic
seeing
hot streaks, like
it's
over
not
a
that
month
I'm not
at a
seeing
time.
enough from them. I feel like it's just a really unfortunate time in the season to where they're getting more eyes on them than usual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and look, here's kind of the Braves' problem, and I'm not sure like how you solve it immediately, but you win baseball games based on three phases.
Mm-hmm.
It's pitching, defense, timely hitting. What I think's happened again, like to the Braves over the last week is the pitching has failed us and the timely hitting has failed us.
Right. And speaking of pitching, we haven't even touched on the Spencer Strider thing.
But if you have two out of the three of those things, you're most likely winning series.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which the Braves have done all year. It's like they've had 1 week of seems like they're not winning series, like they've lost three in a row.
On your point right there, of those things you mentioned, what do you feel like is the most important? Because personally, I've always said that pitching and defense wins games, and I put pitching at number one. Like I feel like pitching is the most important part of baseball. I mean,
it's hard
hitting,
to say, man.
People
it's
say hitting because you can't score wins without good hitting. Yeah, but you can't stop runs from happening without good pitching, you know?
But we had a game against the White Sox where, Chris Sale pitched a great game and, one error, and all of a sudden there's 2 runs on the board and the Braves can only score 1.
Well, that's why.
So it's like there's
that's why
always
defense
like
comes in second to me, because the error is what happens, you know?
Yeah, but it's like, how far does that game go? Like, let's say they score 1 and the Braves score 1.
Yeah.
Like, what happens in the end? Like,
right.
you still need the timely hitting. So it's like you
need the hitting.
You need this concoction of the 3. And you can win with 2 out of 3 most nights. But you're not going to sustain everything unless you're getting a little bit out of all 3 phases there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
So, and I think that let's get into the pitching thing, and then I'm going to get into trade season coming up.
Okay. So with pitching, I truly think that I don't know if I'm going to put it higher than hitting, but I will say, to me personally, I feel like
certainly important.
A good pitching matchup, to me, in my personal opinion, is probably the most important part of baseball. I was currently looking up the news on Spencer Strider when you asked that, and I was like, oh shit, I got to give him an answer right now.
No, I mean, I can tell you a little bit about Spencer Strider.
But,
it
okay,
looks like
so
best case scenario, we're not going to see him until September.
Yeah, well, it's saying to be shut down 4 weeks right now, so we'll see that out. Yeah, 60-day IL. Whew. 60-day injured list. As of 5 hours ago, we got Spencer Strider on the 60-day injured list. So now on top of that, that means we're going to have to see more out of Grant Holmes, more out of Chris Sale, more out of what is that guy that was pitching tonight? Richie, JR, is that his name?
JR Richie, yeah.
JR Richie.
Young kid who I think is a promising prospect, but
I don't think he's doing terrible. I think he's doing the best he's got, and it's kind of
he's hitting the skid at the same time as everybody else, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but it's also not his fault. What I really can't forgive the Braves for doing at this moment in my life, as who I am as an Atlanta fan, is the Braves losing 8-1 against the Mets. That to me, is
that's not good.
unforgivable.
That's not good. That's not good against a reeling Mets team who's just
And
been struck with bad luck all season.
but do you know who started that game? The guy who we said he's 50-50. You never know what you're going to get out of him. Bryce Elder.
Yeah, no, and I know. And so Bryce Elder, I don't want to say he's, Cinderella, turning back into a pumpkin, but
six earned runs in 4 innings. 6 earned runs, 10 hits in 4 innings.
His ERA is still like under 3 though. Like he's still like his full scope of his work has still been good, and I think that Bryce Elder.
Well, his ERA is 3.15 at the moment after that game. 3.15.
Okay, so all right,
still a good ERA. That's still a good ERA.
That's a serviceable starter.
Yeah, that's
man.
still
like,
great.
That's
still when you see that ERA, you're like, oh, he wins games.
Yeah, exactly. You need the timely hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Can you score more than 3?
He's the guy
with this lineup. I'd like to say 9 times out of 10.
Braves,
yeah, you can.
If you're the Braves, you need to know like, hey, Bryce Elder's starting. Our bats need to be kind of hot tonight. That's what it should say to you.
I'm not really going to put it on Bryce Elder, man, but like, bro, I've been praying that we get a pitching replacement for Grant Holmes. Like he needs to go to the bullpen, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like he cannot see the lineup for the second time. When they see him the second time through, I mean, you can set your watch to it, man.
They've already got it figured out.
He can get to the last out of the 3rd inning or all of the 4th inning, and all of a sudden he's getting slapped all around the yard.
And also in that series, the Mets series, the guy who pitched the best, the guy who got the only win was Martin Perez,
which has been a nice surprise.
His ERA actually is under 3. His ERA is 2.9.
Which is crazy because Martin Perez is the last guy that I would have thought would be able to help us. Like he's a journeyman. He's been around. I thought he was going to be in the bullpen when we got him.
Me too.
Or I thought that he would be like a disaster scenario. Someone's getting slapped around, 6 runs in the 2nd inning, and you bring in Martin Perez until you want to bring in your bullpen horses.
Right.
But also I want to say about like the game yesterday, and I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this, but like. Game yesterday got rained out in the 2nd inning. And then today it's like you don't want to use any of your good pitchers because you want to use them like in the actual game for Wednesday night. Not that it went well because it didn't.
Yeah.
But I understand the strategy. So it's like I was looking at the box score and I was like, oh, it's a bunch of pitchers. I don't even know their names, but that happens like when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, and it's a long season, guys.
You talk about
double headers and stuff like that.
The thing is, you touched on Grant Holmes earlier about how he can't see the lineup again. He's the guy who got the rain delay. You know what I'm saying? And you had to rely on Dylan Dodd and Ronaldo Lopez and Molina.
Dylan Dodd I like, but yeah, Ronaldo Lopez I've lost faith in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we barely see him pitch. We got to be up by 7. Or down by 7 before you see him.
Speaking of our boy Riley, Austin Riley had 4 at-bats with 1 hit in that game. So, at least he made a hit.
It's better than I was about to say.
At least he made a hit.
I've seen recently. Yeah.
Let's see. How did he do tonight? Just while I'm playing devil's advocate, how did he do tonight? Oh, it looks like he didn't play tonight. Oh, he did. He had 5 at-bats. 5 at-bats and 3 hits. Okay. And he had an RBI, so maybe he's turning the corner.
Okay.
Maybe he's turning the corner.
One hitter can't do it on their own.
Hey,
Baldwin can't do it on his own.
3 out of 5 is pretty
Riley
good,
can't
dude.
do it on his own. Yeah, I'll say. That's great. That's a great night.
And Dubon had a homer tonight. Speaking of Dubon, who you've mentioned a lot in this episode.
Dubon, I feel like has been, he's that Omar Infante, Martin Prado, like plug him in no matter what. Like he's out there. He's ready to ball. I love Mauricio Dubon. But he's not going to save your team. He's going to be a nice piece for your team.
Guess what our boy Ha-Sung Kim did? This is crazy. This is crazy. He had
I'm not excited about this stat.
0.0000000. That's what he had.
Cool. So you and I could have played that same same spot in the lineup.
We could have did the same thing, just.
I do want to say, like with Drake Baldwin being out, like, and Sean Murphy, you gotta tag Sean Murphy on this because I do believe Sean Murphy to be a very serviceable MLB catcher and hitter. since Drake Baldwin went out and Sean Murphy went out before him,
Right.
we had Sandy Leone and Wynn was in there, and we got like, I want to say like 1 or 2 extra base hits the whole time that Drake Baldwin was out from the catcher position, and 0 homers.
Yeah.
0 homers. Like, that's not good.
No.
That's not good. So, like,
Also,
the
I
catcher
will
position
say-
has been a weakness over the last couple weeks, and we survived it. But, God,
I will say
well, we
you
got
and I
rid of
grew
Jonah
up-
Heim, and, like, just hindsight, and you and I have talked about this a lot. Like,
yeah, which I wasn't too stoked about it. And the thing is,
No.
I foreshadowed it because I told everybody about my displeasure about how the writing on the wall that I saw before the exact writing that I saw happened. Like, I called it.
yeah, and I feel like a
knew
lot
it
of
was
what you
gonna
were
happen.
saying was, like, you didn't believe in Sean Murphy coming back, and it's like, I believe in Sean Murphy coming back, but it's like, well, we didn't really get him coming back. He came back
Yeah.
for, like, a couple games,
No, my thing was,
and then
I
he got
was
hit
just
on the
like,
hand.
I just didn't want to see Jonah Heim go because of how his bat wasn't hot. And you're right, his bat wasn't hot. But when you have a catcher that's playing their position that well and is like boosting the morale in your clubhouse, he's the one who caught
Yeah.
all the shutouts. Like, we talked about the relationship
Yeah.
between catcher and pitcher, and he was that dude for us at the beginning of the season. He truly was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, without a doubt. Like, he's a glue guy, and not only that, like, he's a star of this team.
Mhm.
He is a hitter that you can rely on night in, night out, period. And he
Right.
showed that the second he came
Mhm.
back, he hits the longest homer like in MLB this year. So, but Sean Murphy coming back, it's like, okay, at least we can plug and play. We can DH Baldwin while Sean Murphy's still behind the plate. And Sean he's going to give you some good hitting moments.
No, Sean Murphy's a
He
great player,
certainly
and
is.
Sean Murphy's a good hitter. It's just like I was so in love with what Jonah Heim had going at the moment that I just knew that Murphy coming back meant we had to lose Heim, and I didn't want to lose Heim. That's where I was.
I
at the
didn't either.
moment.
I
You
didn't
know,
either.
That's
You
just
know?
where I was with that because I was I was thoroughly impressed with that kid. I was like, coming into
Sure.
a club you've never played on before, you don't know these guys, there's no relationship here, and you're the guy who's catching the shutouts. You're the guy who the pitchers are relying on and
Well, he
requesting
was rookie
to
of the
play
year
with.
last year, and
You know, like-
I see Drake Baldwin going down as like maybe one of the best Braves catchers of all time. Even though
Yeah.
we've had a lot.
Yeah.
We've had a lot. I
Well,
mean, and
also,
look,
I'll
dude,
tell
we
you.
had
So what
William
I was gonna
Contreras
say-
like years ago,
Well,
and we got rid of
what
him.
I was going to say earlier is you and I grew
and
up
Shea
in an era.
Langoliers, we traded him for Matt Olson, and
You
he's
and
one
I
of the
grew
best
up in
hitting
an
catchers.
era where catchers were like damn good ball players. Like
Yeah.
we had like Showtime catchers in the MLB when
Javi
you and I were
Lopez,
kids.
Brian McCann,
Javi Lopez, Brian
Evan
McCann,
Gaddis,
and not just the Braves. Like, I mean, across the league, catchers were just
Yadier Molina.
yeah, Molina, Mike Piazza. Even though I don't want to
Mhm.
give him his flowers, like still he was the man for a moment. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
So like yeah, like catchers were and the Braves historically have had great catchers, you know, for a
Dude,
long time.
yes.
Eddie Perez.
Eddie Perez, yeah, fucking killer.
So
Can
I
say
don't
that
know.
word
It just
now?
goes
Yeah,
on.
I can. We're
Yeah,
deep
yeah.
now.
It just goes on and on. Like, and honestly, that goes back. This is a whole nother conversation. But the '90s kids, we were the most spoiled generation because we had the greatest of everything, and that's especially when it comes to baseball because we had the steroid era.
That's true. Yeah, but like none of our guys got busted for steroids, did they?
No, but imagine if they had taken them. We probably could have won more than just one in the '90s.
Imagine if Chipper was taking steroids.
Oof.
He was in the home run
Yeah.
race against Sammy Sosa.
Dude, I was
and
gonna talk
Mark
about-
McGwire.
I was going to talk about something that I remembered as the College World Series are going on. And right now, I think Georgia just got stomped by Oklahoma. So Georgia might be out of it because they had to beat Oklahoma
Damn,
twice.
they beat Texas last night.
Yeah, they shut out Texas, but they had to beat Oklahoma twice to advance. And for a while, Oklahoma and I think one other team were the only teams to beat them.
Oklahoma's the
like
same team
this
that
late in the
beat
season.
Georgia Tech, by the way.
Yes, Oklahoma's the team that
They
eliminated
might be
Georgia
really,
Tech.
really good.
I
Yeah.
think they are really, really good. But I was thinking, you and I had talked about the other day that like how a high percentage of these guys in the College World Series you're never going to hear their name in the MLB because, like,
Right.
I truly think the MLB might be the hardest league to get into because you
Yeah.
make it to college, then you might make it to AA, you might make it to AAA, you might get a call up. And then
Mhm.
the thing about getting to the show, it's like, it might not be that hard to get to, but it's hard to stay there. For some guys, it's impossible
Yep.
to stay the MLB. You make your debut, guess what? You're
Yeah.
back to AAA. Now you're back in the farm league. Now you're back here. Like, it's so rare, and I think it's a testament to guys like Chipper Jones and guys like Andrew Jones, even how rare it is to see a guy go from high school and have a Hall of Fame career and stay in the MLB. Like, it is
It's
so
very hard.
hard. It is like
Very hard.
you guys don't understand. Like, I talk about all the time how, like, in the NFL, there's hundreds of thousands of pee-wee, hundreds of thousands of middle school, high school, and a bunch of college, but there's only 32 teams. But in baseball, there's probably a million baseball players between semi-pro and professional. And in football, there's no minor leagues. So there's all these
No.
guys who are just champing at the bit to get their time in the show. And all the guys you see on the TV are the only ones who have made it, and they could lose it at any moment. How many times do you see a guy get injured, have to go rehab in AAA, and then boom, his career's over and you never see him again? The MLB, I feel like, is the hardest league to stay at consistently throughout your career. So when you have guys like Chipper Jones, when you have guys who come in from high school, they literally dip their toes in the minor league system, and then they're in the majors for 20 years and have a Hall of Fame career. That's majestic. That's unheard of.
No, I agree. Yeah, like if you're a college football player, like you're already kind of like
You're on the
100% of,
trajectory.
but you're on the trajectory. Like you have a better chance versus if you're a college baseball player, like and getting into the league, because you're right. Once you get into the farm system, like you got to play single A, double A, triple A, and then they have like low A ball, which is below single A. I kind of relate it to playing in a rock band. It's like you go around, you play the hair salons, and you play the pizza restaurants and the bars.
Then you have
and
that
all
one hit
stuff.
record. You have that one hit song.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's like you don't even just have that one hit and you jump up. It's like you have to pay your dues for so long before you get to that stadium act where people like you and me have even heard of you.
No, but that's what
And baseball
I was trying to
is
equate
the same way.
I was trying to equate it with the one hit as your call up. Like, you have that one hit now. Okay, people know who you are, but now you have to stay there. Now you have to stay relevant and grow
Now you have
from
to stay
that.
there. And you might come up into the league and hey, it's his first major league appearance and he's gonna pitch one inning while his team is down by 9 runs.
Exactly.
They called him up as
Exactly.
just like one of the horses. They don't want to use one of the good guys out of the bullpen, so they put you in, the rookie, and you may never come back ever again.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
And we've seen
very
it happen.
hard.
We've
Staying
watched it
power
happen
is,
hundreds
is
of times.
very hard. Yeah, exactly. Oh, we see it every night, and we don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've
absolutely.
never heard of this kid. You may never see him ever again.
all those ESPN stories you see when you're scrolling through Instagram. This kid's whole family was here to watch his debut. What was that kid's name? Tell me tomorrow what that kid's name was, because
yeah,
you don't
exactly.
know. Like,
And that
you
might
don't
be
know.
the only time they ever see him play in a major league game. Or maybe he gets traded for 4 other teams and they still don't see him play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they all show up and hopefully he gets to pitch tonight. Or hopefully he gets put in, for a pinch hit or whatever.
Yeah. No, and that's honestly something I stand by. I feel like, Major League Baseball is the hardest league to actually become an established athlete in. It truly is.
I agree. So what do you think? Let's move to another sport.
Well, hold on. There's something I
got?
wanted to talk to you about. It
I was
is
about to say,
another
it's A-Town
sport.
Rundown, and we talk about all sports.
No, it is another sport. So what do you think about this big rumor mill going on with Jaylen Brown possibly coming to Atlanta? What do you think the possibility of that happening is?
I think it's kind of low.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think it's
Yeah,
all
and
cockadoodie?
I'll tell you why. Because so I understand the hype, and Jaylen
Mhm.
Brown's a great player, and I would love to see him play on the Hawks.
Absolutely.
But
Who wouldn't?
at what cost?
Yeah, and that's what I want. So
Are
do
you going to trade 2 first-round picks and Zachary Risache and possibly
Kuminga?
either Onyeka? Well, Kuminga I think is expendable. I think you get lucky if it was Kuminga But I think people would ask for like Dyson Daniels or Onyeka Okongwu, in which case I would say no.
Mm-hmm.
And your picks, like number
But what?
8, and we have the 23 as well.
But
Like you
what would
gotta
you
send
give
both of
up?
those.
What would you give up for
I didn't know you were gonna
Jaylen
hit me with
Brown?
NBA this fast.
No, it's cool. But what would you give up for Jaylen while staying mildly stingy, while not fucking yourself over, but also being gracious? Like, what is a realistic deal for you?
I'd give him number 8 this year in the
Okay,
draft.
absolutely.
And I would
Without question, I would give them that.
I would give him Reese Shea.
Reese Shea?
And I'd give him a second round pick.
Do you think that coaches and fans alike have seen enough from Reese Shea to be like, oh yeah, warm embrace? Or do you think everybody would feel like Boston got screwed over in that deal?
I feel like smart people would say we haven't seen the best out of Reese Shea yet.
Do you think that's because Snyder didn't utilize him properly?
I could argue that point. Well, I mean, I could agree with that point, and that he didn't, and maybe he hasn't been developed the best way with the Hawks. But I think also the point is if you're Boston, and you also have to think about this, Boston might not even be the team that gets Reese Shea. It could be a 3-team trade where there's a team that's trying to kind of build assets, and they'll take a young guy like Reese Shea, and they're willing to develop him, and Reese Shea will be a starter every night.
You also have to throw in the Giannis factor. There's word that Giannis wants to go to Boston, from what I'm hearing.
I don't think that Jaylen Brown coming to Atlanta. I honestly don't think that a Giannis trade to anybody will involve Atlanta. I really don't.
Yeah, very true.
I really don't.
Very true.
Just because
I can see it involving like Miami or Los Angeles or Boston. I want Atlanta fans listening to understand that as much as I would love it, I do not think that the city of Atlanta is on Giannis Antetokounmpo's radar. I don't think he wants to play here.
We had our chance. We wanted to draft him. I've told the story on the podcast before. We had him. We had him. The only team that he worked out for in the NBA when he was coming over from Europe was the Atlanta Hawks.
I remember it was all over social media. Everyone's like, look at this kid. I believe you and I not working together at the same time, being like, hey, have you seen this Giannis kid? Because I remember talking.
No. It was before that.
Okay, because I remember talking about it with somebody.
Bro, this is like 2013, 2014, something like that.
Dude, we were working together. Oh, well, I guess it was 2016 when we met. 2016.
No. We met in like 2019.
2019? Feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, I know. But no, so Larry Drew was our head coach. We fired Larry Drew. We got Coach Mike Budenholzer.
Mm-hmm.
The Hawks already had their eyes on this European kid named Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes. And Larry Drew gets hired as an assistant coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. They had the pick ahead of us. They drafted him, even though he never worked out for them. He took insider information, took it over there. We were supposed to draft Giannis, but we missed the boat. And they let someone leak with the shit, and then now he's still with the Bucks, and he won a championship with them. Beat us in the Eastern Conference Finals. But back to what you're saying about Jaylen Brown coming here. I would love to see Jaylen Brown come here.
Yeah.
I don't think that Boston's going to – I don't think they're going to accept a deal from us because you don't want to sell your whole infrastructure to get him, which our infrastructure is, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Onyeka Okongwu.
Now, to your point,
everybody else you can get rid of.
But to your point, and we've said these exact words on this podcast before, these exact words, Jalen Johnson needs to find his Batman.
I agree. And Jaylen Brown could be that. He could. I'm not going to say he definitely would be. I'm on record saying Anthony Edwards would be.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I don't think it's time yet. I don't think it's time yet.
It's not.
It's not time yet.
Because just to make the salary match and all that stuff, like this year, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we can't. We just can't afford
But the
it.
window the window's not that like big right now. Like we have a small window if like we're going to go for it. And we haven't even brought up Knicks won the championship. Shout out the Knicks.
Yeah,
Good for
shout out the
them.
Knicks. Yep.
Hawks are the
Yep.
only team that ever led a series against them.
Yep.
And which begs the question, how good were the Hawks this year if they're the only team that could have gave that to them?
They
CJ
were better
McCollum
than
was
we
the
thought. They
only
were better
scary
than we
guy
thought they were.
against.
Yeah. That's
Like
what I'm saying. They were
Wembanyama
better
didn't
than we thought they
scare
were.
New York, but like CJ McCollum did.
Also, I do want to say they were talking about it on the radio today. Is like, like, does Wembanyama just not have the team behind him? And I feel like everyone was just trying to be so gracious and try to give him excuses. Like, no, dude, you guys got to the finals. You had the team behind you. He didn't get you there, but it was a full team collapse. And on top of that, I don't know if you saw the stats or not. The Spurs led 72% of the entire time during the finals. 72% of the games they were leading, and they still blew it.
Well, here's another thing for you. So the Spurs went to a 7-game series in the conference finals, and the Knicks swept the last 2 series that they played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so they had a lot of rest.
I also think
just having legs in these games, like the Knicks were ready.
I think because of how biased we are against New York, I knew New York was a good team. I just did not realize how good the Knicks were. I did not realize how good of a basketball player Jalen Brunson is, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to give him his flowers because I didn't.
He deserves it.
I did not understand it. I didn't get it. I fully did not comprehend.
I think there's a strategy
who
to beat
Jalen
him,
Brunson
but
is.
I feel like a lot of teams like weren't able to do it. And there's a guy on the Knicks that I brought up during the Hawks series that I thought was kind of the catalyst for the Knicks was OG Anunoby. Like he was very good. And I feel like this guy, like he's a role player, but like he's not going to be the star player on your team. And I don't want to see OG Anunoby like go and go to, let's say he goes
Atlanta?
to the I would take him in Atlanta.
But that's what I'm saying.
For the right
because
price,
I think the thing is, especially in that series against the Nets,
I don't want to see him go to the Nets and be like their star player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not going to happen. And
I don't mean I did not mean to interrupt you, but I was just saying like the Knicks have that depth that the Hawks didn't have. And that's really what did it.
Yeah.
Like if we had the depth that the Knicks had, if we played that well against the Knicks without the depth they have, imagine if we did have that same depth, we would have went to the finals. Imagine if we had guys like OG Anunoby on the bench, imagine that for the Hawks, and that's the thing. Like maybe instead of going after a Jaylen Brown, the Hawks just need to build some depth and draft really well,
No. And to your point, you're absolutely right. Like the Hawks piecemealed this halfway through the season and got as far as they did. And they were the scariest team against the eventual NBA champion, right? Like we led that series. We put that whole city on their heels, and we scared the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
With what we just pieced together after we traded away franchise player, and
who allegedly is going to Miami. I don't know if you've seen that.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. He's staying with the Wizards.
Well, I will say they were talking,
guys.
They were talking about how like he didn't go to the Wizards with intention to stay there, and now there's some heavy rumor that Miami is eyeing him.
Really, the Wizards have the #1 pick in next year's draft. They're going to get AJ DeMonsta.
I'm just telling you.
Bullshit.
I'm just telling you what I've heard. I'm telling you what I've heard. You heard it here second because you heard it from somewhere else first.
I haven't heard that, and I don't believe it for a second. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Trey's going to be starting for the Wizards next year. And I think that their whole thing with getting Trey this year and sitting him and sitting Anthony Davis, like their whole plan is it's not this year, it's next year. So I would be looking at the Wizards to make waves next season, for real.
What kind of Twilight Zone would we be living in if the Wizards were making a real run at the finals,
I'm not sure they're going to make a run into the finals, but like I think they're going to be a good team next year.
I'm just saying if they did, like that's something I don't think have we ever seen that? I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever seen the Wizards be a scary team. Even Jordan Wizards,
I have.
Jordan was good for the Wizards, but like, I guess John Wall Wizards were pretty good.
John Wall, Bradley Beal,
Yeah,
Marcin
Bradley Beal was
Gortat.
pretty good.
That
But
was
like,
that was a good that was a
but
good
never,
that was a
but
good
never
run
a
for them.
never a team to like really be scared of, because I don't think the Wizards were ever good at like
I mean, they
building.
made it pretty much as far as the Hawks did.
Well, yeah,
I
but
don't think
I
they
mean,
made it
I don't
Eastern
think
Conference Finals, but like
I don't think
they
the
were in the
Wizards
second
have
round.
ever
And they were
been a
going 6
team
games.
that like instills fear that like, oh man, you better watch out for the Wizards. Maybe they've always been a sleeper team. You know what I'm saying? Because like, yes, Bradley Beal and John
Wizards
Wall and all those guys were great. But like,
that's the ones that's the era that I think of.
But in
as
my
far as, like,
memory,
scary
I
Wizards
just
team.
can't like really think of the Wizards ever being like that team. You know what I'm saying?
But the Wizards have been a playoff team, and they weren't like a first round bounce team. Like they have been a contender for like winning the Eastern Conference plenty of times in my lifetime. And it's when they had John Wall and Bradley Beal,
Mhm.
Marcin Gortat. Unfortunately, Marcin Gortat's a little too Polish to be a center, if you know what I mean. Hey, shout out my old roommate Nick, because he was a Wizards fan. He always told me that. He was just like, he's just too Polish.
Yeah.
And it's like, white guy, he's big, but like he just kept getting punked under the rim. And, shout out Marcin Gortat, great NBA player, but, retired now.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what the draft brings. And like all this rumor talk, of course, it's nothing but rumor and talk at this point. But it's just like, it does
It's
make
silly
you kind
season,
of excited.
is what I call it.
Yeah,
silly
it's
season.
silly season.
Everyone's like, well, what if someone traded this? And I put it in the NBA trade simulator, and all the salaries match up. And it's like the Hawks give up their entire team for Jaylen Brown, and like all the picks are gone and all the players are gone. It's like, why would they do that? That wouldn't happen.
So you're saying like officially on the record, you do not see any real outcome with Jaylen Brown ending up on the Atlanta Hawks?
No, not this year. I don't.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a fun idea, but like I just don't see the like realistically, I don't see it.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Falcons while we still got some time. And we
got World Cup talk coming.
You know what? Why don't you go ahead, because you've mentioned this World Cup talk. I want to see what Jeremy Harlan has to say about the 2026 World Cup.
USA.
Tell me all about it. Yeah, we got to play Australia on Friday.
We got to play Australia on Friday in our group. We have a very favorable group that we can win. We won the first game. We won it by 3 goals, 4-1 against Paraguay. Shout out Miguel Almiron, who is playing for Paraguay. I hated to see us beat his ass.
No, you
I
didn't.
love the guy.
Because USA, baby.
USA, baby. But that win, just first off, like just intro into the World Cup. Everybody knows we weren't in the last World Cup. We didn't qualify.
Right. Yeah,
we're here now. We're back.
So we're trying.
I haven't been excited about the World Cup since 2014, and here we are in 2026. So, so they win that first game. The way that the bracket works, I don't want to like explain all the rules to soccer, but it's normal scoring when you're in the group stage, where you win, you get 3 points. You draw, you get 1 point. If you lose, you get 0 points. So USA and Australia both have 3 points. Everyone else in the group, 0. All you have to do is, out of 3 games in the group, you have to win the group. First and second place move on to the next round, which is knockout rounds. That's when it really matters. I have a good feeling that if we beat Australia on Friday, that we've won the group. We're going in. We go into knockout rounds. Then it comes into, like, who do you draw? If USA runs into a good team, I'm going to be nervous,
Yes. Yeah.
because we did have a favorable group. But, like, this is an exciting time. And another thing I want to say is there's a lot of Europeans that were saying over the last 2 months that the USA shouldn't host a World Cup. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the stadiums.
They seem like they're having a blast over here.
We're going to talk about that. They were saying they were acting like the stadiums in Europe were better than the stadiums in the USA.
I don't think so.
Look at what's happening, man. You go to the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, AT&T. You go to the Seattle Seahawks Stadium. You go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta. Like, these are world class, and they put almost every single stadium in Europe to shame and
Did
what's
you
happening. And we're packing them out. And, I saw a thing that were like, well, they can't even handle the capacity there. It's like, you look at the capacities of the
handled
European
it very
stadiums.
well?
You look at the capacity of the European stadiums, dude, and it's like, if you ranked them out of 5, Europe's biggest stadium, which I think is Wembley Stadium, would be in the top 5 of our top 5 college football stadiums. Not even our NFL stadiums,
Yeah.
dude.
Did you happen to see what happened at the Red Sox game the other night?
With the Scotland fans?
Yes, so a bunch of Scotland fans decided to go to a Boston Red Sox game, and during
Good for them. I want them to
Yeah.
see some American sports, man.
and during an inning swap over, an offense defense change, I guess during the commercial break they played 500 miles. I'm gonna be, I would walk 500 miles.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
after they came back from commercial, the Scottish fans just kept
They're still
chanting
singing.
that song at the top of their lungs, to the point where it seemed like the pitchers and batters couldn't focus on the game because they brought all that rowdiness from Scotland over with them. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in
I love
baseball. It was amazing.
I love it.
I loved
Hey,
it.
we
I
welcome
wish
these Europeans.
I
man.
wish
Like,
baseball crowds were
enjoy
like
our
that
country.
all the time.
Me too. My whole thing is like, and then you see all of these videos of like, and I'm sure you've seen them, like a lot of like couple influencers that are from England or from Spain or Germany,
Trying wings
like,
in Atlanta and stuff.
yeah, like they tried lemon pepper wings for the first time and they're excited about it.
Have you seen Europeans go to Walmart?
Oh no, I want
Oh,
to,
it's the
though.
greatest
Oh,
thing in
man,
the world.
That sounds amazing.
It's the greatest. It's because a lot of these soccer players who are renowned all-stars in their respective countries are going to Walmarts in these little podunk towns in Georgia and stuff where nobody knows them, and they're just walking around without security, having the time of their life because they've never been in a Walmart before. They've never seen American food before. They've never seen the lack of sugar and calorie restriction that we have over here, where you can pig out to your heart's desire. They've never seen a large soda. They've never felt air conditioning before, Jeremy.
Which is crazy. And look, God bless America, baby.
God bless me.
Hey, I thank God every day that I was born here
plenty
in this country.
things. There's plenty things, and I say this with my whole heart all the time. Hate the government, love America, and I'll say
Sure.
that till the day I die.
Absolutely.
Because
I've told
there's
that my
so
whole
many
life.
things. There's so many things about this country that I feel like, until you see the rest of the world, until you travel overseas, until you visit other places, you just take it for granted. As simple as air conditioning, as simple as getting a large soda with your Burger King meal, as
They
simple.
can't fathom it, which is crazy.
Things
We take for granted, man.
as simple as going to Walmart. We're over here in America, it's white trash. We're over there, it's a luxury. You mean to tell me, explain to these Europeans that you can buy food, diapers for your kid, t-shirts, multimedia, DVDs, CDs, and a BB gun all in the same store?
One-stop shop, bro.
Like, are you kidding
Oh,
me?
you can buy an actual gun at Walmart.
Can you
Okay.
imagine
Not
these
just a BB gun,
Europeans?
yeah.
Can you imagine these Europeans at a Buc-ee's? At a
Oh, yeah.
Buc-ee's? So these are
Man,
things. Like I say,
gotta
I
pull this
will.
up. My
I will
sister sent me
never-
something. My sister sent me something, and I'm sure, like, I don't know if you've heard about this, but this guy Freddie, who he's coming from Germany and he's traveling through the South, like going to different World Cup games. My sister sent me this meme which I thought was fucking very funny, dude. Hold on.
We're all just waiting on you.
I know. Oh no, it may be gone. Hold on. God damn it. I hate to do this on the podcast, guys.
No, it's
I
okay.
thought she sent it to me on Instagram. I think she sent me in a text. Okay, here it is. So Freddie, the guy from Germany who's been, documenting his whole tour through the southern U.S., she sent me, it's like, it's a beautiful picture of being in Europe, look at the landscape and all that, which is amazing. And when we go to Europe, we're looking for that. And it says, me in Europe in American. I can't wait to try all the fresh food and local wine. Meanwhile, Freddie from Germany is in Houston, wide-eyed and joy-filled from his visit to Buc-ee's, Waffle House, and Walmart.
Dude,
You got to put it in perspective.
I saw a video of a kid from England having Waffle House the first time today, and he looked like he was having an orgasm. Like,
dude, there was one guy that said that he went to Waffle House, a British guy. He was like, and I think he was in Atlanta, and he's like downtown Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not even in the outskirts where the real Waffle House is.
Yeah,
you know,
that's not a real.
You got to go to Stone
House
Mountain Waffle House.
Yeah.
You got to go. You got to go to Stockbridge Waffle House, something like that, like to see the real thing.
You got to go where the server's calling you sugar, and you're approaching as she's smoking a cigarette. You know,
exactly. Yeah, you want to see them put out cigarette, cigar, blunt, whatever at the dumpster when you pull up to go in and cook your food. That's when you got the.
You want to go to the Waffle House where you're the only one there, and they're so comfortable around you that they smoke a cigarette inside the store. That's the Waffle House you want to go to.
Who's going to tell on me? Not me.
Yeah.
So this British guy, he was like, well, everyone told me don't go to Waffle House at night. So I went in the morning, and this is my experience, and it was amazing. And honestly, if they had this in England, I'd take my kids here every Sunday, and we would have breakfast here, blah, 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 blah. And I look at the comments, everyone's like, no, you have to go at night.
Yes.
Don't listen to people that say don't go at night.
You have to go at night.
Because you might get a show. You might get the UFC White House matchup that we saw last weekend
right
in the Waffle House, okay?
Yes.
And you're going to be safe. You're going to be fine. But you're going to sit there and watch it. And you and I have experienced the same thing at Waffle House.
Absolutely.
Multiple times. Right,
dude. Me and you. I remember the Waffle House days where you could put like 6 quarters in a vending machine and pull out a pack of cigarettes. Like I remember those Waffle House days.
You had those, but nowadays you go there and you go to the jukebox and you put on. You go ahead and spend $10 to play Toby Keith Honka Tonk Badonka Donk 10 times in a row, and then you leave.
Yeah, you do it just to annoy them. Dude, there was one time, this is a real story. There was one time I was at a Waffle House and I went to the jukebox and I put on salt and pepper, and the cook, no, it was not okay. Because the cook got so mad, he heard it come on. It was like, bum, 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 bum. And he looked at me. He looked at me and my friends and he was like, are you serious? And then he dropped the spatulas and went outside and smoked cigarettes until that song was over. Like, he got so mad at me.
God bless him, man. I don't blame him. Sometimes you hear the same old bullshit all the goddamn time, man. You gotta.
But I'll tell you, dude, I mean, I remember my first Waffle House experience was magical, but I was like 2 years old, you know?
Sure. Oh, I've had multiple experiences. I'm not going to get into those. But I think the big thing about like the Europeans coming over here, the fun thing about this, and I think kind of like the wholesome part of this, is that like they're not talking about New York City and New York. Like they're not talking about that stuff. And they're not talking about LA. And they're not just talking about, being in Miami. They're talking about driving through the heart of the South.
Yeah.
And they are loving it.
And
they're seeing how they live, and they're talking about our people here, and talking about how nice everyone is, and like the things that they've been told, like being in Europe, about how America is just trash and materialism and bullshit and fat and stupid.
And while those things are true,
yeah, there's some truth to that, of course.
Yeah,
of course. But like they're driving through and they're saying like, everyone was so nice to us. I can't believe how friendly everyone is. And we heard that America just hates immigrants, and like they're seeing us and they're being friendly to us. They don't care.
I would say
they're asking us about the time we're having, and then they're looking at the country. Like,
yes.
I mean, and when I say the country, I mean like the landscape. They're looking at the world's
mountains,
splendor,
the greenery, the foliage.
It's like they're driving through the Smoky Mountains. Like
there's something about the South
that's what
where
they need
it's
to
like,
see. That's America.
The Southern people I knew, Southern people I grew up with, the community I was involved with, we don't hate immigrants. We're just very interested in them. We're going to ask you a lot of questions, but we're going to treat you with respect. That's the South I grew up in.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I think there's something to be said about like what gets sent over to Europe about what we are. And like maybe it is a lot of this like, New York, nobody has time to talk to you, that kind of stuff, like versus what most of the country is is kind of the Southern culture, which is someone comes in and says, "Hey, I'm visiting America for the first time." And they're like, "Oh, well, I'd like to talk to you." Like,
Yeah. And that's the thing is I think a lot of so first of all, Southern hospitality is a very real thing. And I
that's
think
real.
and I think a lot of times we get the ignorance we get the ignorance label because we're just curious. We want to know things about you. I want to know
Right.
about your culture. I want to know about your religion. And at the risk of sounding ignorant, I'm going to ask these questions because I don't know anything about them. You know, it's not me
Right.
being rude. It's not me being ignorant.
Nope.
It's me being
And it's not me
uneducated.
saying like
So
I
why
need
don't
to
you
know who's here in my
yeah.
country. It's like,
So
no,
why
I'm
don't you just share this
genuinely
with
curious.
me? Like, hey man, I've never heard of Hare Krishna. What is this about? Let's have a conversation. You know, like,
Right.
oh, I've never been to that part of Europe. What's it like? What do y'all do over there? Oh, that sounds
It's
kind of
not just
weird.
Europe. It's
You
like
know?
it's Australia, it's Africa,
Yeah.
it's Asia. Like,
And like when an old Southern lady asks, why do y'all talk like that? It's not because she's offended by you. It's because she's curious and she's dumb. Like, I'm sorry.
I don't even
That's
think
why.
that. I honestly don't think that old Southern ladies are even going to ask you that because they're going to be extra polite.
Yeah.
They're gonna think it in their head. I'm not
Yeah.
sure they're going to ask it. You
Yeah.
know,
And don't get us wrong.
hey,
Don't get
why
us
are
wrong.
y'all talking like that? It's
Don't
like
get
it's
us wrong.
Asian
We
guys. It's like,
will-
come on, dude, they're from Japan.
We
Like,
we will talk shit behind your back because to a lot of people in the South it's different and silly, but it's good humor, it's good natured. We're not being like we don't want you not to
I wouldn't
come.
even say that.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like everything we do is good natured.
Joey,
It's
I want
like
everybody to come, not at my expense.
that's what I'm saying. It's not that we don't want you to come. We want you to come over and we want to learn about you. And I feel like that's
you
the
said
problem.
come over. All right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, but that's the problem is like I feel like we get that ignorant label just because like we don't know. And like, how am I going to know unless you tell me? Like,
Yeah. No, I think that like the way that they talk about us overseas is not what the real United States is.
yeah.
The real
Yeah.
United States is what we live in every day. And it's like it is a bunch of like nice old ladies and like and you can come across like the most redneck dude. Like he's stop with the like don't prejudge him because I'm not sure that he's prejudging you. Like he knows that you're an immigrant or that you're not from
You
here.
ain't from around here.
He knows that.
Yeah.
But like the
that.
fact that he's talking to you means he's interested.
But if he's
You
pulling
know?
up on your car because you got a flat tire, he might just be trying to help you change your tire.
He might just be trying to help you.
Yeah.
And that will happen. And I'm sure we'll see some stories from these Europeans and Asians and Africans that are like here
And
right now, like that they will have those
get
stories.
this misconstrued. Don't misquote us. Don't get this misconstrued. There's fucked up people everywhere. There's bad people everywhere. It's not just the South.
And I hope we
So,
don't hear any stories about
yeah.
that, but like that
Yeah.
could happen. Yeah.
Tune that out. There's bad people everywhere. There's
Right.
racists everywhere. There's pieces of shit everywhere. It's not just the South. But ultimately, the South has what? Have you not seen all the parties and all the welcome arms there's been from the Carolinas to Georgia to Louisiana? Everybody's having a blast right now. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Because if you take politics out of everything, everyone just wants to party and have a good time and
we're
get
just
along.
humans. Yeah. If
Yeah.
we're just talking humans, I think America's got a lot of good humans.
And I feel like this is doing
overwhelmingly a lot of good
this
humans.
is doing a beautiful thing where everybody gets to represent their country, be loud, be drunk, party, share a beer with everybody, and just talk and get to know each other. Because I feel like that's what this world has been missing out on a long time.
And I'm seeing a lot of Americans go to these games like they're like, well, the U.S. isn't playing this game, but like, okay, so we had Cabo Verde and Spain play at Mercedes-Benz.
Yo, that game was
Atlanta.
lit. That game
It
was lit.
And I know a lot of Americans that didn't have a dog in the fight, but they're like, I got to go to this game. I got to go because this is my chance to go see World Cup. And I guarantee you, like anyone that traveled over here from either two of those countries were welcomed the whole time.
Absolutely,
And
dude.
everyone's saying like, hey, we're just here for the show.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
I saw what it was Spain and who else?
Cabo Verde.
Okay, so I saw a video of a Spain fan and a Cabo Verde fan, talking to each other, cheersing each other, and then they exchanged jerseys and gave each other a full hug and
that's
embrace.
awesome.
Like that's what this is about,
Love it.
dude.
That's what's fun about the World Cup, dude.
Yeah,
It's like it's the world coming together. We're watching this friendly competition.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So everything going on right now is qualifiers, and the finals aren't for a while, correct? Like the
It's
actual World Cup
39 days.
match.
It's 39 days of matches.
Okay.
You got group stage first, which is what we're in right now. You win your group, you go into knockout rounds. Then it's like you have to win every game from the knockout round until you win the final.
hmm do we know where the final will be?
I don't off the top of my head, no. But it
Yeah.
will be in US, Mexico, or Canada.
Okay, so it's a full North America.
By the way, Mexico's
party that's going on
stadiums and
right now.
Canada's stadiums, no one's talking about those. The US stadiums are
That's right.
unbelievable to the rest of the world.
And we mean
as
that
they should be.
And we mean that in a friendly competition way. Like, hey, Mexico, Canada, if you guys build a badass stadium, cool. Let us come party there. You know?
Yep. All right, let's get to the end of this episode, man. Because
okay, fine. Jeez. God,
hey, I got to
pressure
move on
me,
something
dog.
that I'm not going to say on the podcast.
Okay. Oh.
I think you know what that means.
Okay. Well, so we have very little Falcons talk. It's been revealed that Penix has not been cleared to play 11 on 11.
But his camp is saying that he's going to be ready
what I was
week
about
one.
to say. You hear conflicting things. You hear his camp saying he's going to be ready week one, but you hear everybody else in the world is like, I don't think he's going to be ready. I don't think he's going to start week one. I'm going to tell you this right now. I feel like if I don't see Tua start on week one, it'll feel like I'm being struck by lightning because I don't see any other outcome happening.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, because he might be ready for, and I feel like I've said this before on the podcast that Penix is probably fighting for his career. And the fact that
absolutely,
he's like, I have to be ready. I have to be ready. I have to be ready.
Last episode we absolutely touched on that because he was thrown into a spot that I don't think he was ready for, and now right now he's AAA in it. He's trying to keep a spot. He made it to the show. Now he's got to keep it, dude.
Right? No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, to go back to what you said earlier, I'm not. I'll see it when I believe it, or I'll believe it when I see it. The whole under center thing, I feel like that's out the window. You have to be able to come out under center. We are not bringing the Zach Robinson, pistol shotgun thing anymore. Kevin
they were talking about on the radio
today.
They were saying that the reason Robinson was so prone to that is because that's how he played in college, and that was a system that he brought over. But then once again, like we were saying last season, it seemed like it was something the coaches were saying he wasn't capable of. So I don't think we'll ever get the truth about Penix not playing under center. I don't think we'll ever get the full story, and we'll ever get the actual information on that.
I don't either. But look, the battle is still Tua versus Penix. I think Tua's got the edge. He's got more NFL starts. I mean, and he's not coming off of an injury. So he's just coming off of a bad season for $1 million.
Yeah,
I think the Falcons are willing to take that.
They were saying that as far as accuracy goes, he was in the top 10. I think he was number 8 in accuracy, so he can get it to you. He knows what he's doing with the ball. There's I think
Penix has the better arm, but does he have the better mind for finding people?
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say.
Talked about
even though
Penix only throwing outside the numbers.
Yeah, but even though Tua is more accurate, can Tua give you a 40-yard bomb? You know what I'm saying? Can he be there when it matters?
I'd give the edge to Penix, but you got to think about the rest of the game.
At the same time, there is a quarterback who people consider to be the greatest all time that rarely ever gave you a 40-yard bomb, but he won games because of his accuracy.
That's true. You're talking about Tom Brady.
Yeah, that guy.
Yep. I've heard of him.
But, there is so much NFL stuff going on right now that I would love to touch on that we're going to have to save till the week after next because your boy is about to be a Bahama mama in the Bahamas on a cruise ship.
No.
But also, real quick, this is going to be our last thing. For those of you who don't know, James Pierce is officially at training camp. He is on the Atlanta Falcons roster. He did not lose his spot, and he will be starting with the Atlanta Falcons. I think it's going to be a while before.
Play week one.
And you're telling me that as long as his charges stay where they are and he doesn't fuck up, he will not face a suspension.
Yes. The case has to be settled, and then the NFL will give their suspension. That's what I think.
But as of now, he's not facing a suspension, so we're good. We have James Pierce.
That's what I think.
Okay. Well, Jeremy, I think we have a lot to talk about next week because there's a lot of NFL news that's just coming up left and right. We're talking Baker Mayfield. We're talking about how Myles Garrett plays on the LA Rams now.
Yep.
We have so much stuff to talk about, which we will get into next week because the NFL is ramping up. And if you know A-Town Rundown, you know that is our time of year to shine, but we want to save some gas in the tank. So tune into us the week after next, because I'm going to be in the Bahamas. I'm going to be living my best life. Don't worry about me.
Dog.
Next time you see me, I'm going to be jacked and tan and living my best life.
Ooh.
But as for now, check us out on all of our social media platforms on X. If you talk to A-Town Rundown on X, you are talking directly to Jeremy Harlan. That is the guy you were talking to. So if you have any complaints, any questions, any queries at all, you are talking directly to Jeremy Harlan on x.com/A-Town.
Or if you just want to hang out and have fun, talk to me.
Yeah. Or if you just want to be like, hey, why don't you guys talk about this? Why didn't you guys talk about the dream on tonight's episode? It's because we already are at over an hour and I forgot to plug them in, and I'm sorry.
Next time.
But also YouTube, A-Town Rundown, Instagram, A-Town Rundown. And you can also check out Jeremy's band Sunmancer. He just got these nice, awesome custom-made picks for his shows that are coming up that you can catch if he throws one at you at his upcoming shows. So until next time, guys, be safe. Always remember, Atlanta first. The rest of y'all later. We'll see you.
Peace.